Hello and welcome to Healthy Habits. So today I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of a vlog if you couldn't tell. This video is actually going to be all about what was it like moving across the country pretty much during my graduation, my high school graduation. So for those of you who don't know, I ended up moving from California to Michigan right after, well, not even right after, during my graduation. So a lot of people ask me, why? Why did you do that? And a lot of the times I'll just say, my husband. This is his brand, by the way. A lot of the times I'll just point to him. And the truth of the matter is there were a lot of reasons. Number one, I needed to get out of my toxic environment. So I talk a little bit about this in my book, Cutting Expenses in 25 Ways. I talk a little bit about environmental health, and that was an environmentally unhealthy situation, pretty much. And I just needed to get out. Second reason, I had never been outside of the state, and I had vowed ever since I had been a preteen that I would leave the state and I would never come back. But more importantly, I wanted to go across the country. At that point in time, I was thinking Rhode Island. That didn't end up happening. I ended up settling for Michigan, given who was here, and I had more people here than I did anywhere else, and these were some of the most reliable people that I knew. So this ended up being the choice that I ended up going with because it seemed like the one that would be most likely to actually work out. Or in other words, how an entrepreneur would put it, I took some calculated risks. So with that being said, what was it actually like during the move and during the graduation? So the move was very hectic. Now, I was using my birthday money when I first came over here. This was before the graduation when I moved a lot of my stuff over here, like actually officially over here. And then I ended up going back. That way I could get my actual diploma. When I went back, I ended up being late for my graduation. I didn't get to walk on stage, but I still got my diploma. I got it in hand, and when I ended up coming back, it was a situation where I brought everything that I absolutely needed in order to live and in order to move into our own place. And I moved that stuff over the second time that I ended up traveling over to Michigan. So basically, the process of moving was very hectic. It was very spotty, especially since the second time when I first tried to buy the ticket, it ended up not going through. Luckily, with the way that I was trying to situate that, it ended up working out anyway because it didn't end up taking my money. So I ended up redoing it, and I had to do it to where I ended up coming back like a whole month later than I had originally planned. But so the moving itself was hectic. And as I pretty much already explained, the graduation was a lot more hectic because it was a lot of trying to contact my teacher, contact the school, contact my mother so that she could get in contact with them, and it was a lot of just trying to get in contact with whoever I could to get the information I needed, and then I ended up having to go up to the school itself in order to get my freaking stuff, and then it ended up being a thing where some of it ended up having to be mailed. So it was all hectic, guys. It was all hectic. So ultimately, it ended up being a thing where, like, my graduation and the moving at the same time, like, it was hectic, but at the end of the day, it still ended up getting done. I still ended up achieving the main goal that was meant to be achieved. I was able to do the main things that needed to be done. And because of that, I'm actually really glad I did things the way that I did things. So, um, so it ended up being a thing where the moving itself, like when I was actually moving, the first time I came here, it was like a mix of fear, pride, fucking happiness, sadness. There was a whole mix of emotions. It was just an emotional roller coaster throughout the whole move. And then the graduating bit was more irritating than it was anything else, at least for me personally. So the moving itself, I wasn't even that frustrated with. Like, when it comes to travel, I'm really good with not complaining and whatnot. It's mainly the lack of sleep that gets to me when it comes to the travel time. That's mainly what ends up happening is I have to stay awake for other people, and then I have to make sure that I stay awake because I'm an insomniac, so if I go to bed at the wrong time, it's gonna totally frick me. But anyways, and then with the, pretty much with the whole situation, it was difficult. It was difficult to get through. It was a hassle. None, needless to say. Uh, but it ended up being a situation where me moving when I graduated made it to where I could do the very thing I wanted to do, which was see another part of the world enough to figure out if I wanted to be on the East or West Coast. And because of me, learning about the different sides of the country, I know that there are good and bad things to both sides. I see where I have advantages and disadvantages in both areas, and I'm glad that I have contact with both areas still. And I'm glad that if I were to move, I would still have access to these areas just because my husband's family is in Michigan and then my family is in California. Two very, very great states for the things that I want to do. And I'm glad that I did things the way that I did things. But it's also a thing where I do want to improve on things, so there's always room to improve. But it was hectic. It was hectic moving and graduating at the same time, and it was hectic. The moving, like I said, the moving wasn't as hectic as the diploma thing, but it is something where I enjoy it a little bit more. And when it comes to talking to people, I really don't. So I didn't want to have to deal with that diploma bullshit. I really didn't, but it ended up happening. So that's how it was. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Most importantly, I hope that you guys are staying safe, happy, and healthy. Bye-bye. P.S. Yeah, this is going to be a vlog day instead of a yoga challenge day. If you guys couldn't tell. So, yoga will be up tomorrow. Trust me.